Please welcome contestant number 9, Scarlet Brigham.
Almost exactly 6 years ago, in February of 2013, a man named Christopher Dorner disrupted our lives here in Big Bear. After feeling he'd been unfairly discharged from the LAPD in 2009, he went on a shooting spree, shooting 6 people and killing 4. Then he took refuge here in our mountains. On February 7th, our schools were placed on lockdown for the first time. I had just turned 10 years old. My uncle scooped my mother, my cousins, and I up and flew us down to our second home in Palm Springs. We were scared. 2 years after Chris Dorner had taken refuge in our mountains, my father and his girlfriend were down in San Bernardino to pick up some things at Costco. Just down the street at the Inland Regional Center, 2 terrorists had opened fire, killing 14 people and injuring 22 others. I had a strings concert here at the Pack in 2 days. I'll never forget my mother calling me to tell me, always know where the exit is, because I would be in a crowded place with a lot of other children. Again, I was scared. It happened less than an hour away from home. 5 years after the whole Christopher Dorner incident, something devastating happened. It was October 1st, 2017, and I was up late on my computer. It was around 10 p.m. And I got a Twitter notification from the lead singer of the band I listened to. Vegas, we're praying for you. I couldn't find anything on what was going on, so I just decided to go to bed. I was tired. When I woke up, I learned that the music festival my mom and I had been planning on attending had been the site of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. I cried when I read about it. At this point, I was done being scared. I was so angry. How could one person destroy the lives of so many other people? I was angry and I was confused. I didn't know where to turn. After hearing about school shooting after school shooting after school shooting after school shooting to people who were my age, I was frustrated. I wanted answers, so I did some research. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, reports suggest that up to 60% of perpetrators of mass shootings in the U.S. since 1970 have displayed acute paranoia, delusions, and depression. For example, James Holmes was seeing a psychiatrist specializing in schizophrenia before he opened fire on a crowded theater in Colorado. Elliot Rogers suffered from Asperger's syndrome and was taking psychotropic medication before he gunned down 6 people in Isla Vista, California. Mental health does seem to affect how many people die and things like this, but correlation doesn't always equal causation. There might be another culprit, and it might surprise you. The psychotropic drugs used to treat illnesses like depression and schizophrenia. According to the CCHR, out of nearly 410 psychiatric drug warnings, 27 warn of violence, aggression, hostility, mania, psychosis, or homicidal ideation. 49 warn of self-harm/suicidal ideation, and 27 were linked to serotonin syndrome, an antidepressant use, which is marked by symptoms of agitation, restlessness, and confusion. For example, Stephen Paddock, the Las Vegas gunman, had been prescribed Valium, an antidepressant called diazepam, and it was found in his system during the autopsy after the shooting. Eric Harris, one of the 2 gunmen in the Columbine massacre, took Luvox, an antidepressant called fluvoxamine, and that antidepressant is linked to violent behavior that wasn't seen in placebo patients. Adam Lanza, the perpetrator of the deadliest school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, was prescribed Lexapro and Celexa, which are both antidepressants. According to the CCHR, at least 35 school shootings involved withdrawing or taking prescription drugs, and about 300 other cases aren't confirmed or denied whether or not these perpetrators were taking or withdrawing from psychiatric drugs. What does this mean in terms of a solution? In my opinion, it's not realistic to think that everyone will be so quick to tighten gun control or make bigger background checks or limit the ability to purchase firearms in the states. It's in our Constitution. In my opinion, I think we should raise mental health awareness and look into alternatives to these psychotropic medications. According to the CCHR of St. Louis, the first action you should take when dealing with somebody who's mentally ill is the do no harm policy. This ensures that the patient is in a state of rest and security at all times, and we're not using force or harm to control their behavior. And we're not trying to force drugs on them that will just overwhelm their minds further. Britain's Mental Health Foundation's report, Feeding Minds, talks about how diet and exercise relate to keeping away symptoms of depression. Eliminating school violence is a very heavy task to accomplish, and it requires many, many small steps, just like a creek carves out a canyon. I'm here to offer one solution that will reduce lost life by up to 10%, up to 10%. Psychotropic drugs may be overprescribed, and I think that alternative medicines should be pursued by doctors and patients alike. It's a brighter future that I think is worth fighting for. Thank you.
Thank you, Scarlett, very much.